Thank you, man. Thank you so much for joining me today, man. I appreciate that, man.
No problem. Let me just. The lighting good.
Yeah, lighting's good, man. Lighting's good.
Yeah.
Bless. Yeah, 100%.
Well, go on.
Yeah, good, man. How you doing?
Good. I can't complain. You get me?
Yeah,
Hairline
100%.
lived through to December 2020,
Uh-huh.
the maddest year of all time.
100.
So I'm grateful for that. Firstly, do you know what I mean? Yeah, but everything's good, man. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Just cracking on interviews like this, and just I feel the reason why I needed to speak to you today because I feel like, you know what, I've been a grime DJ, speaking to you. I feel that I know that you've done a lot of interviews, but I just felt that I needed to speak to you from more of a personal perspective, if that makes sense. I just wanted to kick it off. Look, for everyone that's watching, who's going to be watching this, I want to introduce Jammer, aka Jamet the World, aka Soldier of the Grime Scene, aka the Merkle Man, aka the foundational linchpins of the grime scene.
Come on.
That's just obviously, the tip of the iceberg. But I just want to say thank you for joining me today, because it's greatly appreciated, and I appreciate the time and efforts. And obviously, I know time is not on your side in terms of your productivity. I know we're going to talk about natural selection, but the reason why I wanted to speak to you is, as you said, bro, that we're going through some difficult times, especially leading to the end of the year. From
100%.
From the pandemic itself, how has that affected you? Not from a musical perspective, but more on a personal touch.
Yeah, the pandemic's been really interesting for me because I lived a very fast life. Traveling the world, doing shows up and down the country, in and out of clubs, meeting crazy people and just doing crazy stuff. So my life's been very somewhat a blessing also, but just very just a very different way of living in general. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that, since the pandemic's happened, there's been no shows, no live, no interactions, no tennis. I'm not, and obviously it all ties into music as well, because it's obviously music's my life. But I mean, I'm talking, it's to do with music, but this is also to do with just me as a personal individual. So I noticed that, I could look more into myself, look more into things around me, look more into, what my actual goals are and what I really want to achieve and who I am. And, really just kind of brought me back to, I feel like a new birth of like me. Do you know what I mean?
100. Do you think that when you said that it was a blessing, is it in the blessing in the sense that you needed this to take a backseat and just reflect on you?
Yeah. I feel like, at first, obviously, it seemed a bit crazy. Things are going on, you know what I mean? People are losing money. Some people are losing family members. Some people are losing their companies and stuff like that. And all of that was going on. And then you're getting like all the news, and you're getting all the propaganda. And, we had all the BLM stuff this year, and so many things that was tied into, just kind of one whirlwind of just craziness. And yeah, I just feel like it was something that I needed that I didn't know that I needed. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know that, because think about it, for 20 years, I've been non-stop going.
You've been on the go, literally on the go, non-stop, every day, every week, every month.
No days off, non-stop working. I've never took a year off of music. Do you know what I mean? I've never I never looked at a year and thought, you know what, this year I'm not doing nothing. I'm just going to chill out. I've never done that. Do you know what I mean? So just to be able to, almost by force, because obviously there wasn't no events, but it made me realize that I needed to be still as well at the same time. I needed to be still. I needed to think more.
Is that more from a personal and musical perspective?
That's directly from personal, which will also flow over into my music. But I think when you're doing so much, sometimes you don't look at personal so much when you're so indulged in your work, and you're so entwined and interleaved with what you do so much. you kind of don't really get that chance to separate those worlds. And I know a lot of artists talk about that, like separating their music life with their personal life. And I understand that, but obviously once you've given your face and your name and your voice and everything to that music, once you walk out your house, you cannot not be that person. Like you are that, like someone's going to see you and they've been listening to your music for 10 years. If they say to you, oh my God, I can't believe it. And then you're on that day, you don't want to take a picture, or you don't want to have a conversation, or you just had an argument with your girl and you're just literally walking out of the house to get into your car.
Mm-hmm.
That person is not going to really understand the context of what's actually happening in your life at that present moment. All they actually know is that they saw Jammer, they was excited, and they tried to speak to him and he parred them. Do you know what I mean? So with all of those things being, you know, said, it's like I've had to realize that I have to separate a part of my life for myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has to be done, because that's what lockdown showed me. That's what, like, the pandemic showed me. I have a whole different side of me away from what I do that I should be looking into, and I should be searching into, and be more interested and intrigued in myself to find out what new things I can do, new ways to create, new ways to be a better person, new ways to, you know, incorporate people in what I'm doing, new ways to spread more love, new ways to
build relationships.
Build relationship, new ways to be impactful, new ways to just be a positive energy, new ways to just be something good within what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of bad going on right now. There's a lot of crazy things going on. So I'm just trying to use my energies and my time and everything to bring as much positivity to the situation, whether it's music or whether it's life. It's just that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
How does that feel, man? I mean, like you said, 20 years is a long time, man. And for that to just literally change in like what, 8 to 10 months, it must have affected. I mean, it can affect you.
Literally, it was one day. Obviously, it's been over the span of 10 months or coming up to 11 months, right? But technically, that was one day. That one day we woke up and that was it. You couldn't go out. You couldn't go to a show. You couldn't do this. Everything shut down. So
right.
for me, like, it was really interesting because psychologically, mentally, and physically, this is damaging for artists, because if you know you make music and you've been making music for the duration of time that I've been making music, or even if you've been doing it for 5 years or 2 years, or you've been doing it for 8 years, whatever it may be, your life and your brain and your body and your way you're set up and your mind set up and everything that you do is set up. There are big parts of the way that you're living that have effects on your mental health, on you, on your body, on your physical, on just how you are as a person. So you're not going to get that release. You're not going to the club and spitting your bar and getting a reload, or you're not going and doing a festival and releasing those endorphins in your head that you get every time you go on that stage, when you create this art, when you write these songs. And it is tennis. It's a game of table tennis. You know, you put the song out there, the people get the energy, then they sing it back to you, and then the bass line and the vibration and the cheering and the pyrotechnics on the stage and all of that just gives you that euphoric rush of feeling like you're alive. It's just been taken. And not only just for the artists, I'm talking for the consumers, you know, for the fans, supporters, whatever you may call it, for the people that work at the festivals, for that don't rap, that, you know, do stewarding, that do, you know, so many people's lives have been affected. And I think it's so important for us to just remember that, how grateful we should be for everything that we have been able to do over the past 3 or 4 decades or whatever, however long everyone's been here. So I think the world needed it. The world needed to slow down. The world needed to heal, not only just the planet, but people. You know, I know mental health is shut up because a lot of people are stuck in their house and stuff like that. You know, there's pros and cons to this. Do you know what I mean? But my main thing for anybody, especially that people that are watching that are going through whatever they're going through at this present time in their life, do you know what I mean? And how they're dealing with lockdown. My main thing, what I have had to do for myself, it's nothing to do with anybody else. It's just every day getting up, being positive, being happy, you know, being grateful that I've made it to another day. Just being grateful that I'm a talented individual and I have breath to be able to create, and I have another chance to get it right today. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's really, if I wanted to narrow it down in a nutshell, that's what lockdown has showed me as an individual. You know, I wake up every day with another chance to get it right, to do something amazing, to do something with my time that is positive.
When you wake up in that morning, obviously for a lot of artists, not even just grime, musically, or and not even just in music, as you said, across the spectrum of just, you know, the world that we're living in, what motivational, you know, techniques do you use to say, you know, today I am going to do this, I am going to do that, you know, it's all
yeah. You know what, my first motivational technique, and I'll tell you something, yeah, someone who brought this to my attention was Gigs. You know, I don't know at the time what was going on. I think I might have put a tweet out or something, yeah, and I was just a little bit disheartened with something at the time. I think I put a post on my Instagram or on my Twitter, and yeah, Gigs hollered me, man, and he was just like, "Yo, Jam, I don't know what's going on. Why you put that post out? But let me tell you this: like, you're like a legend. You're so far forward in this thing. You're like I said, like what you need to do today is you just need to get up, put on whatever your sickest jacket is, get your chains, put whatever hat is mad, put that on. You get me?
Come on,
do the
come on.
mad thing. Go in the mirror. You get me? What's going on? You get me? Like, and when he was explaining it to me, I realized, like, you know what I mean? I was, like, when I came off the phone to him, I just put some music on. Do you get me? I got myself dressed, put my little finger on, put my little chain, put my little vibes on. Do you get what I'm saying?
Come on.
And just flexed in the mirror. Do you get what I'm saying? And just skanked and just let myself know that my thing's wicked. You get what I'm saying? And I think sometimes in London, not just London, in England, in America, that is praised. Like, I'm the man, I'm the shit, man. Like, yo, oh my G's, we the best. That's encouraged. Yeah, that's encouraged in America. But in London, maybe because it's the Queen's country and it's, you know, the British language, or just how the country is, it's shunned upon to say that I'm the best and I'm this and do you know what I mean? People just look at you and be like, oh yeah, you're full of shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so for me, you know, when I had that conversation with Gigs, and also I actually knew that before he said it to me. I know this. But sometimes you need someone to just remind you, like, yo,
from
like,
someone else.
Yo, yeah, don't forget that. Don't forget. Like, and I think that's what happens. Sometimes we're very hard on ourselves. We're very hard on ourselves, especially me. I'm just on myself. Like, every time I do something, I'll be like, oh, that's whack. Like, I'm straight back in the studio making another thing. And not in a sense of like, oh, it's whack in the world. No, to me, I know I can go harder. Like, so I'm always trying to go harder. Like, I dropped a single yesterday with JME called It Ain't the Same. And like today I'm trying to look for the next record I want to drop. You know what I mean? Today I'm trying to think of how I'm going to get back in the studio to make the next better thing than what I made before. Do you know what I mean? So we can really be our own nightmare sometimes by the way we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's all about balance, I must say. Do you know what I mean? And like what you're saying is like, what's the motivation? It's like, I'm always trying to get up. I'm grateful. I appreciate that I woke up. You know, I got another chance to do something amazing. I got another chance to do great. And it's like, there are just those 4 things alone. Do you know what I mean? And then just getting up and just believing in yourself. You know what I mean? Bigging yourself up. And this stuff is just like so weird that it's not even normal to say this. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, you got like my number one key now is just, I am my number one fan. I am my number one supporter. I am the person that when I'm talking to my brother, I'm like, oh, why are you doing that for? You shouldn't do that. I am saying it to me.
And you're your number one critic as well.
Yeah, I'm a number one critic. Like, I'm on myself, do you know what I'm saying? And if you ain't on yourself and you ain't on you and you're trying to be the best version of you and you ain't trying to be better the next day, like, well, I don't know what you're really doing. Do you get what I'm saying? For me personally, I'm just trying to be, and this is nothing to even do with music, I'm just trying to be a better person every single day I wake up than I was yesterday. And that doesn't mean I was a bad person today. It just means I'm trying to be better, trying to learn more, I'm trying to do more with my time, every opportunity that I get. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes in life you can waste a couple of years away. You know, you can just be doing some dumb shit. You know, you fucking around with like girls,
100.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? You just be like playing around. But obviously you gotta live. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, any young G's out there, don't get lost in the sauce, man. Like, don't get lost in the club, in the table life and buying bottles, and don't get lost in like hanging out, everybody just smoking weed. Like, don't get like, you can do all of those things in moderation. Do you get what I'm saying? But focus on you. Focus on being the best version of you. Focus on achieving the goals that you want to achieve. Focus on setting goals. Focus on, you know, taking time out for yourself. Focus on growing mentally. Focus on growing with your family. Focus on building better relationships with people in your family and also out of your family. Relationships are the highest value. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you got relationships with people, and you know, people, they have faith in you and they trust you, they believe in you, and they actually take you in. That is more valuable than having £1 million in the bank.
100.
Because
You mentioned about the young G's, and it's upsetting because obviously you're seeing how the current state of the young G's are, especially now with what's going on with all the madness, and you know, with people, and the kids losing themselves with the money and whatever. Like, it sounds to me that obviously yourself, Jammer, you've lived a life over the last 20 years where you've had to learn, in some instances, the hard way, to learn to teach yourself how to better yourself. What advice would you give to these young, apart from obviously, it's not all about just popping bottles in a club, but from a personal perspective, trying to move yourself and trying to rise up amongst the struggles we're dealing with at the moment, especially you mentioned about BLM and things like that. What would you say from a positive perspective to try and raise those young G's up?
My thing is, like, look, everything's going on around you, man. Like, things are going to be happening. You know what I'm saying? I don't know every individual situation. You know what I'm saying? Some men are in their area. Some men have got passive with next man. It's not even their fault. You know what I'm saying? They're just dragged into it. But one thing you can do is you can take yourself away from things. You know what I mean? You can try and minimize being at risk. You can try and minimize being in that place that's going to get you in trouble. You can minimize being on the corner where you're going to get nicked. You can minimize everything that's going to actually cause you drama. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's always up to you. Every time something goes wrong, people tend to look around and be like, oh, well, it's that person's fault. They dragged me into it. No, it's you. It's you. And the main thing the advice I can give to any young G is just care about you more than you care about anyone else, and not in a selfish way where it's like, oh yeah, like, I don't care about my man, I'm just going to do him over. No, care about being the best version of you, care about saving money, care about not having to show off and look flash for other people, because all of this stuff.
That's a big one there.
Yeah, because I saw a quote the other day: don't go broke trying to look rich for the broke guy or the broke girl.
So
you get what I'm saying?
That's mad. When you deep it, it's like, what?
Yeah, that's what it is, man. Because look, man, it's easy to feel like everybody wants that girl that they saw on Instagram that looks good, but they think they need the Rolex with the bust down that M24's got, or that. They saw Unknown T's film. They saw AJ Tracy's necklace. So man are under mad pressure to go out there and slap a man over to get them same jewels. You get me, Carl? In their hood, they used to be the guy, or gal ain't really looking at them the same now, because when these men come in the club, it's looking crazy for them. So man have to get back in the trap, and man have to borrow some food and jug their way back to get that little bit of whatever shine it is. So the gal Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, I hear all of it. I hear everybody. I hear everyone, and no one is wrong. No one's wrong. But the thing is, there comes a time when you have to look at what are you buying into? Do you know what I mean? And I want everyone to have good things. Everyone should have a nice car. Everyone, sometimes I'll drive down the road, or I'll be in a car, or be somewhere in an Uber, and I look to my left or whatever, and I see like some 80-year-old man like driving some Ferrari. And like nowadays, it's like, the way they portray it is like you got to be 20, 21. If you ain't 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and you ain't busting like that, you ain't the guy. You get me? And especially with like footballers and rappers, and also with these new influencers and all of these other new kind of worlds of vloggers, YouTubers, all this new success through media. It's a lot of pressure for young kids. You know what I'm saying? I got a son, he's 18 years old. He's trying to do his thing, you get me? So the way he looks at all of this stuff, you know what I mean? I have to sit down and explain to him, you know, everything's not what you see, what it is. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, the young G's, my main thing to them is just stay out of trouble, man. That put the weapons down. I know that you might still be in situations from previous, but the thing is, I used to be in bad situations in my ends where people used to try it with me. And after a while, I used to have man that backed me and come to shows with me and defend me and done all that. And then one day my mom was just like, bro, son, listen, go to your shows with your girl. Each time I see one girl, she was fire. You get me? And she just had a good energy. She just looked good. She had a good energy. She didn't have any nothing bad around her.
Yeah, no bad
I used to roll to my shows with her, and all of a sudden, man ain't trying to burst me, or man ain't trying to run me down and that. You get what I'm saying? But when I go there with 10, 15 man, just in case,
it's a different story. Yes.
Yeah, I'm coming with that aura. I'm coming with that energy. Like certain man might have the ding dong and that, and that's how they're feeling today. Do you get me? The first man that's looking your way, you're ready to just do the mad thing.
Of course, because you're with the man, them, innit?
Because you're with, and you know you're ready for this. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's your mindset. You know what I'm saying? I had to change my mindset. Nothing changed for me other than my mindset. I'm the same person. Every time that I made the next step to something, it was just my mindset. You know what I mean? And with that being said, I just want people to think better for themselves. You know what I mean? Think logical, think better, think about situations before you get into them, think about things before you do something. Everything has a consequence, you know what I'm saying? So my main thing to Donnies is just make sure that you know what you're doing. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's it. Like I don't have no qualms with anybody. People are gonna make mistakes, do you know what I'm saying?
It's how you learn from them. It's how you learn from them.
Titch made a mistake. He's done 30 years. He's appealed. They ain't getting that. It's happening, but it's not coming. He's not coming out. So let his mistake be one of your learning curves. You don't have to go and shoot someone and get 30 as well. That's why did he do that? For you to not learn nothing at all. So that's my thing. Like I've seen peers of mine do things that I'm like, okay, well, I ain't doing that.
How do you feel knowing you got an 18-year-old son, and that's a blessing to you as well? How's that feel? Because obviously you were 18 years ago, you were in where, you know, the early 2000s, especially with...
Yeah, I had him. He was being born when I was making like Take You Out and Good, you know, and Destruction, all them tunes. Like he was born around about like the same time as like Lord of the Mics 1 and that, you know what I mean? So when I was doing all of that, he was, you know, in motion of coming to the world. You get what I'm saying? So now he does his thing, he spits, he's hard, he makes beats, does his thing, you get what I'm saying? So him and his little brethren are doing their thing, but then obviously there's a whole new side to the scene that has evolved from grime. Do you know what I'm saying? And
drill,
like,
the drill kind of...
Yeah, it's drill, but it's like what we do, but it's his own version. And you know, when he first started doing music, he started doing grime, and then he came to me as like, oh, I want to do this. Do you get what I'm saying? And at first I was like, like, I love drill, but I mean, like, I want, like, my son, he was sick at grime, and I would have loved him to
follow in your footsteps.
Yeah, to carry on doing what, but at the same time, I had to realize, like, he's his own person. He's his own person from his own time and his own era and his own social circle and his own generation. Do you get what I'm saying? And they're going to want to do it the way they did it and take it the way they took it.
Just like how you did.
Yes, just like how I wanted to take it where I took it to when garage was in, or, you know, people might say garage was on the end side of garage. But to me, garage never ever died. Do you know what I mean? It was always lived there and it always continued. And actually, before lockdown actually shut, the garage and house scene was thriving.
It was mad.
Yeah. Thriving. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like my thing to everyone is like, and not to be like super like, oh, I saw some interview the other day of Jam and he was just like very serious and he's just trying to preach and like I ain't trying to preach to no one. I don't think that I know the answers to everything. I'm just saying from what I've been through and how I feel about what's going on right now is this is the perspective that I see things from. Do you get what I'm saying? Everybody can have their own opinion on it. Some might agree, some might not agree. But my thing right now is that's why I said my album's called Natural Selection, because I'm having to adapt and and that's the key to life, you know, evolve or be extinct, adapt, understand what's happening, stay in tune. Don't be that old, not even old, because that's like, even Wiley I was saying today, you know, everyone's saying, oh, Wiley's too old to rap or whatever, like, but, you know, they'll like, everybody's at like Jimi Hendrix show, or, do you know what I'm saying? Or
yeah,
whatever, do you get what I'm saying? Is Jimi Hendrix still alive?
I think he is. I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure, but everybody's at whoever's show. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the older lot, you know, I mean, a UB40 or whoever it might be,
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. They're still performing. They're still getting people reaching to their events. So
yeah, so that's the kind of attitude that I take on it. But my main thing is just to make sure the kids know that it's not cool to like everything that you see is not cool. Do you know what I mean? And everything that you see people rapping about or doing in the videos is not cool, because, or on their Snapchats and stuff, because like those same people like 6 months down the line might be getting nicked for that, or they might go jail for it, but they're not going to snap that they went jail for it. So then you're just going to be trying to do the same thing that he done. You're going to get nabbed. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's like the way of the world that we're living in now is like someone stabs someone, they put out their phone and start filming it, or someone beats someone up, they start putting out their phone and filming it. Like, so you just got to look at what you're really trying to do and what your aim in life is, and really start looking at that from a young age. Because me, I started music and I started doing this, and I honestly didn't know that what I was doing and the effort that I was putting in was going to take me around the world and back, and take my, you know, make and help me to be the person I am today. I didn't know that, but with young kids now, do you know what I mean? They get into things and they do things now, and that's why I really like. I was talking about last night, like Banksy. It's really interesting to me because he worked a lot out before. Do you know what I mean? And he worked so much out that the way he patterned his thing is like, no one knows what this brother looks like. You get me? There might be like 1 or 2 pictures in existence and you're not even sure if it's him. Like, no one's 100% sure. Secondly, his art is worth like crazy amounts of money. Nice. And thirdly, the concepts and everything that he does about it is extremely insane. And that means that this brother actually clocked who he was as a human being before
going out there to the real world.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he, you know, people like Kano very much so is like that. Do you know what I mean? You've never seen a bad clip of Kano, like some nonsense going on. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like the way the way he carried himself. Do you know what I mean? And like me, I know like I'm like almost like a black rock star. So I know that there's gonna be like, I'm a bit different, especially on stage and how I am as an artist to people. You know, I'm a bit eclectic.
Yeah, but that's your persona then. That's what, if anything, that's what grime kind of is. You kind of have that, the yin and the yang, if that makes sense.
No, the thing is, I understand it, and I understand this, who I am, and I appreciate it. But what I'm trying to say to the young Jesus, you could be that. You can be a rock star. You could be that vibe, that jammer. You can be that sick guy, goes on stage, everyone drinks over. You can do that. You can do that. But this is what I've learned. When you do that there on the stage, and you're doing it for your art, for your energy, for who you are, for your living vessel, when you come away from that, you don't do it on the dance floor in the club. You don't do it in the street when everyone's outside the rave. Do you know what I'm saying? You do this as a piece of art that people can have forever. That's been filmed. It's there. This is the power. You know what I mean? And then when people see you in real life, just try to be a pleasant character, you know, try and give people good energy, try and make people's experiences pleasant. Do you know what I'm saying? This is my advice. You don't have to, like, this is just what I think that I've learned over a period of time. Because there's been times in my career where I'm just on some rockstar shit and I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I'm just like, yo, I'm seeing people, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, drinking from the bottle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is like the head of Apple. Like, this guy writes brazy checks. Like, this guy writes the check. Like, yeah, message mark, yeah. And the thing is, when you're a true rock star, when you're truly that guy, they're still gonna message you, yeah. But the thing is, the way what I'm trying to say is just refine your swags a bit more. You know what I'm saying? Refine yourself a bit more. You know, try to be a little bit more reserved in your actual human being of yourself, the human version of yourself, not your alter ego or your character that you've created to be. Do you know what I'm saying? Jammer is an avatar that I've created. Merkel Man is another avatar that I've created these are avatars that I've created to go and make money for Jedah Power, which that's who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Jammer and Merkel Man are not actually real people. They're alter egos, they're characters that I've created over time through music, art, and expression and fashion. I've created these avatars that people have grown fond to love and that has entertained them over a period of time. Do you get what I'm saying? But I am Jedah Power though. That's who I was.
No matter what anyone says, you are Jedah Power.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? So that
label.
guy, Jedah Power, he is not Jammer and he is not Merkel Man. But Jammer and Merkel Man, they work for him. Get me? So these are just
as your alter ego is, but really you're representing the Jammer.
Yeah, they represent me and they go to work for me and they get money for me so Jedah Power can survive and eat salmon sobers.
You know what?
You get what I'm saying?
I'm gonna put it on the spot. I'll tell you what this. For this, I like doing this part of the segment of the interview, and this is the stats segment, bro. Spotify alone, you have 47,000 listeners a month. That's the tip of the iceberg. When you dip it, 47,000 people listen to your music, and I think the one particular tune which I love, even though it's a new part of your music, is No Questions. And that's got over 1 million streams. And then you've got Fast Life, that's got 1.7 million streams. I mean, do you ever sit back, sleep and think, like, wow, like, this is, my music's not just in the UK. From the early 2000s when you started Grime, it was predominantly just in the UK. Now your music is global. Like, if you go on YouTube, you look at the comments, you're seeing the Russias, the Chinas, the Japans, and you see figures like that from Spotify. Do you ever take a seat back and wow, like, does this really happen, or is it part of normality now?
Complicated one for me. I don't really like figures, so I actually believe. It took me time to realize this, and JME helped me really see this as well. I don't think YouTube should have numbers on the bottoms. I only think the people that say, like, I only think the person whose song it is should see how many people's listened to their song. I don't think anybody else needs to see it. On Spotify, I don't think anybody I only think I'm meant to see how many songs I'm streaming, or Drake's only meant to see how many songs he's streaming, because I feel that this puts a really big strain on people's mental health, especially up and coming artists and other people when they're trying to get into the game. And when I was coming in the game, look, I'll be real, like, you might go onto YouTube now, look at Merkel Man video or something, it might have, like, I don't know,
it's got 250,000 views or something like that.
It's got 250,000 views, but I'm telling you now, over 10 million people know that record. So what does that number mean? Do you know what I mean? So I'm more dealing with, like, how I'm talking to you now. I'm talking to you as you're a human, not as I'm talking to you because 5,000 people are going to be listening to your show. I'm talking to you. Do you get what I mean? So, but then people are going to look at our conversation because I'm engaging with you as a human and you're engaging with me as a human, and they're gonna look at it and be like, oh, this is a very insightful and human conversation that I would like to be a part of, or I would like to listen to or take in. It's a difference, rather than me being like, yeah, okay, yeah, my thing's out, like, get me, everybody run up everybody go download that. You get what I'm saying? Like, even though at some point of the interview we will tell them the albums out and stuff like that, but this is not, it's not directed at selling records. It's got a lot more depth to that than
when you said from a mental perspective, how from when you see the YouTube views actually on there, are you saying in the sense that it can be disheartening for artists from a mental perspective?
100 million percent.
When you're saying one thing,
it could be disheartening for everyone across the board, because look, I could have 1 million views today on a song. Tomorrow, Skep could put a tune out, he'll get 10 million views. The next day, Drake could put a tune out, he gets 100 million views. What? Who's gonna feel what? Like, who's like? How do you stop that? Like, when does that stop? That's forever. So you're gonna feel that emotional strain and drain for. I genuinely don't give a shit about it, because I can't. And numbers obviously don't lie. And numbers, numbers are good, because obviously once you get numbers, you can go into a building, you'd be like, look, I done these numbers. I want to get this amount of money for this jacket deal, or I want to get this amount of money for this streaming deal, or I want to get this amount of money because my numbers say that I'm valued at this number, right? Which is cool. I get that. It's just like winning an award. You win an award this year, you will most probably be up for a lot of headline shows. You would be headlining in some places because you're the biggest male act of the year. So they're going to want to book you at that slot, right? So I understand the benefits of these things. Do you know what I'm saying? These accolades. But what it is who is the guy that said that you're the best? Why is he allowed to say it? And who is he? And where's he from? And this is my problem with things like, the Mobos. You got this whole drama with like everyone moaning about Unknown P being nominated and Unknown T not been nominated, and Unknown P is a parody of Unknown T.
Yeah.
So, like, for me, it's just like all the stats and the accolades and this person, that person is big because they did this and that. Like, I get it. But me, I'm just trying to make great art that when I am not here, it lives on forever. And that people can get and it inspires them, and they remake it, and it lives on through them and through their kids. And do you know what I mean? That it's bigger than like, I've been doing music before streaming existed. I've been doing music before One Extra existed. I've been successful at music before Capital Extra existed. One Extra, streaming, Instagram, Facebook.
The whole lot.
I was even doing it before Gmail existed. Like, come on, give me a break. Like, do you know what I mean? So
you're doing the
my
blueprint.
my thing's a bit different. The way I see things, I'm one of the kids that I used to knock out for my friend or like meet them at the park. Like, there was no phone or iMessage or, do you know what I'm saying? You had to call your friend's mum's house when you got to the phone box and tell them that you are at the park. Do you know what I mean? So like, I come from a different era. Do you get what I'm saying? Like a total different era. So for me, I don't care about all of that stuff, even though I know it's happening. It's not like if someone phoned me tomorrow and said, sometimes someone phones me on my team, they'll be like, oh yeah, you hit a million streams with that. It's sick, it's great. Like, I'm happy I did it. I'm not angry that a million people listen to it. But that is not my focal point. I'm not gonna now look at my next song and be like, I need 1.5 million views. How are we gonna get it? That's not what I do music for. Do you know what I mean?
It leads me on to my next question. And you made a point when you sat down and you said that you don't do this music you don't do grime, especially just for the P's or the money. You're doing it because you have so much passion. You have so much love and energy of seeing the grime music, so not even just grime music, progressing. And, you mentioned about how, you will call, for example, like Lord and the Mics, whatever, you'll call people to come and join you to do a thing. But I think, I can't remember what his name was, but he said that, that's not normal. That's not corporate for you to do that kind of thing where you are, you know, calling upon favors to do that, but
Mhm.
you embodied, and that's been a part of you as from when you started music, right? And
Well, like, I think that's got a lot to do with your reason of doing things, and like what is like your integrity towards what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't make music for peas. Yes, I make peas from music, but every time I think about this sentence or whatever, when I first started to make music, my first thing was like, I didn't think, oh, I'm gonna make this beat and I'm gonna get money. I thought I'm gonna make this beat and then is my brethren gonna like it? That was success to me in the beginning. So my brethren likes, oh my God, I've made it. Like, it's mad. All right, cool. Now I need to get someone in music that's actually in music that's doing something to like it. Oh my God, flipping out. I linked up with this guy. He rates my music. Oh, sick. My next boundary. Okay, I need to get a DJ. Yeah. Okay, the DJs. Oh my God, we're outside the shop and someone drives past playing my radio. Oh my God, everyone's going mad. Man, I'm throwing their drink across the road. Like, it's a mad thing. That's making it. Then from there, oh, your DJ's playing. Oh, you got invited to awards. Oh my God, we got invited to awards. It's a mad thing. You go to the, oh, you're performing. Oh, mad thing. Oh, what you want? Oh, what? So success is that's everybody's individual perception of success. Some people think success is money. Who's got the most money, or who's got the best car or the best house? You're the best. You're not. Not in my eyes. I know people with loads of money and they're just sad. They got the biggest house. They just phoning me. What are you doing? Well, what am I doing? I'm not doing. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why are you asking me what I'm doing? Why are you asking me what I'm doing? You got 10 cars in your drive. And like, what am I doing? You shouldn't be worrying about what I'm doing. Don't worry what I'm doing. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, you can always look at the guy and it looks amazing from the outside, but you don't know what he's going through. You don't know what he's feeling like. I've had millionaires tell me, I wish I could be like you. Do you know what I mean? Because £1 million is not money. Yeah, it's money, but what do you feel like? You could have £1 million and feel like shit. Yeah, I've had a fiver in my pocket before and had the best time of my life, mate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's just like,
more rewarding, right? You can have a million.
Yeah, like, it's like, and it doesn't mean that people don't want to be rich and people don't want it. Like, this is not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is, be that person before you be that person without the money. Be that, you know what I mean? Once you have that in you without financial gain, once you have that in you without all of these other extensions, then when you are financially stable, you will be happy. But some people, they just think that when they get money, oh, I need money because if I get money, I'm gonna be happy. If I get money, I'm gonna be happy. Then they get money and then they realize money doesn't buy happiness, fam. Like, you can't go to the shop and you can't buy a lit day today. Like, you can go to the shop, you can go to your brethren's and you can buy every outfit that you don't wanted. You can buy all the Courvoisier you want. You can buy everything. You can drink it all. You can throw up on the floor. You can lie there. You can be sick on your brethren. But when you wake up the next day, guess what? You're back to that thought process in your head where you was before. You're back to basically
you done
it. Yeah, you're back to square one before you done this fake happiness thing that you was doing. So now, with me, one thing I always try to tell myself, and I always try to tell the youths that I work with or that come to studio with me or write with me or whatever, I'm just cool anyway. I'm happy anyway. So when I do stuff and I get things, it's a bonus. Everything's a touch. When I started to do music, it wasn't for money. So when I first got my first check off music, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Someone phoned me up and said, "Oh, I got a check for you. This check's been sitting there for like 4 months because my friend told me someone's been looking for me from East West Recordings." I don't know if you remember East West Recordings, but it was owned by Virgin, I think, if I'm right. Don't quote me. But they went into liquidation. But at the time, Richard, what's his second name?
Oh, Bryson.
No, Kano's manager.
Oh, no idea.
Richard Thomas. Yeah, Richard Thomas. He was an A&R at East West Recordings. And he was like, yeah, man, we got this. Do you remember Heartless Crew's album that came out, HLC on East River Good? Like they gave them like £1 million to do this project, right? Anyway, so they hit me up and they was basically like, oh, well, we've had this check sitting there for you for months. We didn't know it was you. We couldn't, because I was an alias name. Do you know what I mean? I was like some guy from the hood that didn't have a bank account. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I literally didn't have a bank account. They wrote me a check for 17 grand. I had to make a bank account with Lloyd's Bank. I'll never forget
that money.
but the funny thing is it's like, that's my point. Do you get me? I didn't know that money was there for me, but I made those songs with love. I made them with excitement. Everything I've done with that project, I loved it. I didn't think about peas. There was no peas. I didn't do it for peas. And that's what I'm always going to try and keep in my music, like in me, in my art, like, because I think some people get to a certain level of their career and they're like, oh, well, I could just quickly make this song and get money for it. And I get that. But some people, they look back at the songs that they made to get money, i.e. Tinchy Strider, he mostly doesn't want that song on the radio now, even though the house that he lives in is a mad thing. But when he has a Skepta new tune, he's thinking, oh, you get me? Like, or he might hear a Digger D, or he might hear a back row G tune, and he's like, because guess what, Tinchy, we love you, but if you spit that bar now, we don't believe you, right? Because the other week we saw you with Velvet Stockings, and we saw you with the Father Christmas advert. We saw you doing it. We saw you sitting on the lap of that guy on that program. We saw it. We saw everything. So we don't know if nothing is enough. We don't know if trapping ain't dead. All this stuff that you're gonna say on the rhythm, because we saw you with the Chuckle Brothers and that. Yeah, because it's your moves that you do. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and this is not a dig at Tinchy. Tinchy's my guy. No one can't, like, if he was with me, you can't bad him up. It's not that. Do you get what I'm saying? But I'm just showing you career choices.
No, of course.
You know what I'm saying? And what happens in the long run. And also, somebody might turn around to me and be like, oh, well, yeah, Tinchy made like £10 million that year. Like, you didn't make £10 million that year, but I can still spit a bar. And people still believe me.
Exactly.
I can still spit my bar today and people still believe me. And also when I walk around, people still believe what my word is. And as a rapper or as a poet, that's your most important thing, your word. When you start speaking and it's just you're done. Do you get what I'm saying? So all I have is like my bond to my word, to what I'm doing. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's it. Like, just keep it real to yourself. But like I said, there's many. It's obviously not just to call Tinchy out of. There's many artists that was going through. You know, Dappy. I love Dappy, but Dappy's making a strong comeback now with, you know, this is what he always wanted to do. This singing music. Like, he is the king of it before it even existed. This melodic auto-tune thing. You don't even need auto, brother. Do you get me? But obviously there were certain career choices that he made at the time that he had to go through that horrible stage of his life. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
He had to lose his house, and he had to lose his master. Whatever he had to lose it and come back again. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm glad for someone like Dappy, but again, Dappy is a different level of talent. And again, that's not to disrespect Tinchy, but Dappy's talent is out of the spectrum. I've been in studio with Dappy before. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know when I'm in the room with someone and now they've got me in awe, and I know I'm talented. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, but my point is, it's like, just make good career choices. Just make good choices. Do you know what I'm saying? For me, like, I'll always tell young G's, like, when you go to your shows now, try not to drink there. Try not to get burst. Go get your bag, do your thing, take your pictures with your fans, go out the back door, jump in your bus, let your tour manager take you home. If you get me, you got a social circle of friends that you know, and that they come to your shows and that you just go, you bust out with them, you jump in your van, you tell everybody, yeah, meet me back at my apartment, whatever, where you rented that night. You have a little party, your little private thing. Don't be too exposed. You get what I'm saying? That's my gift to man. Like, because when I was coming up, that was it. I didn't understand. I couldn't believe it. I was walking around, what, all these 25 bottles of Hennessy for us? What? We're just gonna drink it until we're in the stage. Do you get me? And I think nobody warns you and teaches you that. You don't have when I was coming in, I didn't have a mentor to be like, oh, well, don't. Like, I learned this later in my life when I started to tour with Dizzy Rascal. I don't know if you know Nick Cage, but Nick Cage is Dizzy Rascal's manager that also used to look after Wiley. And Nick started to teach me, right, you don't drink the rider, you put them all in the boot. You get all the apple juice, all the apples, all the sweets, everything. You get all the rider, and you put it in the boot of the car. Why? Yeah, because you don't have to buy anything at Christmas.
Mad.
So when I went back to the office with them lot, and I used to watch, they used to unpack the boot and they used to open the cupboard, and it was full to the top with champagne, brandy, crisp, every sweet you could possibly think of in your life. It was like heaven of riders.
Yeah, mad.
This brother had been collecting riders for the past 3 years. And alcohol don't go off, bearing in mind.
Bro,
you get what I'm saying? So you got to take it in. You get what I'm saying? And that's when I only started to learn things like that, being around older guys. You get what I'm saying? Older guys who knew what they've been there, they've done that. They don't care. They don't want to drink champs. It's nasty. You get it? So they don't want to drink it because it's not nice. Do you get me? Like, I drink Courvoisier because I like the taste of it. I don't drink champagne. It's not nice. Do you get what I'm saying? So
you and me both, man. You and me both. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know, man. That's just like, these are things that I've learned over the time. Do you get what I'm saying? So now, if I make 10 projects from today, remember, I'm not going to rap forever, but I'm a producer. So I can produce any artist that I see. I can go in any studio and make the song. I can talk to anyone in the world about music. So I could go to the Philippines now and meet the best Philippine artist that I don't know what the fuck you're saying, but I know how to make your melody go on the beat. Yeah. That's it. That's all I need to know. You that can break it down with me, Google Translate after, I don't care. But right now, I just know how to make a banger. So that's my thing, get me? So for me, how I see it going, I just look at this and everything I've learned now and just be like, right, I'm just going to make projects. I'm going to put music out that every time someone streams it, that money goes into my bank account. And that's it. So I just need to stay in my house for like quite a long time, make music, put it out there, it goes to my bank account. Then when we're allowed out again, I can start touring the world. And I've realized, oh my God, I don't need to actually do bare things. Like, I just need to do what I love. And you can forget that. You can forget that because it's hype out there. You go out there, it's hype. This person, that person, this girl in the club trying to chat to you, this, everything, this guy, he's good at, this guy wants to gift you a 10 grand, this, like, everyone wants to do stuff. Everyone wants to be next to you. But the main thing is, like, the only way to survive is to make yourself minimal, limited, exclusive, keep yourself a mystery. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I even know that I've been seen a lot. Like, I go places, people see me, you might walk down Shoreditch and see Jammer. But the one thing I do know is I still have my mystery to me. You get what I'm saying? I'm still very mysterious. People still look at me and be like, wow, you're actually mad interesting. I've actually been places and people just walk up to me and be like, I don't know who the fuck you are, but you're just mad interesting.
You got a lot of wisdom, bro.
They literally just say it. They literally just say it. So that's it. That's all I need to work. That's all I need to care about. I just need to care about making what makes me happy, doing it, and just repeating. There's nothing's broken. Why am I trying to fix something? Nothing's fucked up. Like, everything's fine.
You know what?
But obviously, the TV and the internet and Instagram will make you feel like you're failing every single day that you wake up. It doesn't matter what you've got. You could buy the newest Ferrari now. I could go to the showroom now, buy it. I bet you any money, 2 days time, someone else gonna have the new one.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
I could go and buy the baddest man thing today. Someone's gonna have a better one tomorrow.
And that's what social media has done to us, man. It's something that we have to keep stepping up to everyone every single time just to keep.
Yeah, but that's what I didn't like. We stopped, like, and I really actually, you have to show a lot of love to Skep. Even though, like, now Skep's he's doing he's a bit more flashy now again. Do you get what I'm saying? But he stopped. He like when we done That's Not Me. Do you get what I'm saying? We ain't wearing Louis V no more. That's not me. I ain't trying to dress like a mess. Man ain't buying into these big chains for no reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that whole energy, for me personally, helps me a lot at that time because I've never really been into big jewelry like that. And I've never really been big into flashiness. Do you get me? I've never really been a flashy don like that. So And then when you have peers and you're in a competition, not competition, but you're in this league of people, all of a sudden people feel like, oh, he's doing better than you because he's got a bigger chain than you, or he's got a better car than you, or whatever they might think. So then you get into this competition with people that you don't even want to be in. Why am I in this competition? So that was me when I was like, oh, I just want to dress normal in tracksuit. Like I just want to.
How did it feel?
I want to dress like a tramp.
How did it feel being mainstream? The transition from being a grime artist into the mainstream industry. Were you? How did it feel being integrated into the mainstream industry? Were you accepted, or did you feel like?
I never felt like I wanted. Like when I went in there, I'll be honest. When I met everybody, I've met all the big superstars. I've been standing right next to Rihanna. There, she's right there in front of me, like making eye contact, doing everything. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I've seen them. I've been face to face with bare people, fam. Like P Diddy. I've jammed with P Diddy more than one occasion. I've been in his pool parties. I've thrown up in his pool. Like Cassie's got mad. She wants to kick me out of the party. Like I've actually interacted with people, to the maddest people. And the thing is, every time I'm involved in this stuff or I'm around it, it's fun and it's sick and it just makes me think. I think, yeah, man, sick, man. Like man are achieving things because man's music's great and what man do is amazing. And also my peers around me, what we all do together is amazing. And we make these amazing things happen. But I don't really like it.
It's not you.
I don't really like. Yeah, it's not me. Like, you get me? There's some of the parties and that we go to are good. Like, you can go there. You can like people smoking there. It's cool. Like us, I'm just a chill guy. Like, I just want to have a drink, smoke, and chill out. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like there's a massive percentage part of this thing. Do you know what I mean? There's these pictures. There's like people don't want you to stand next to this person because of this reason, or you can't walk out the club at the same time because they've got to get this shot for the papers and the magazine at this time. Like I've been walking out like of clubs before that. I've been coming out somewhere, they're mad paparazzi, all these bare lights, and I'm thinking, what's going on? Like then I clock what's going on and who I'm with and what's happening. Do you get what I'm saying? But again, I understand what that is too. I understand what it is, but I don't want to be a pop star. I don't want to be famous for being in the papers. I don't know. I don't want to be in the papers for that. I want to be in the papers because like I've done something to do with art. Do you get it? Like I don't want to be in the papers. Oh yeah, well Jammer's going out with this person. I don't. That's not my thing.
Yeah. Nah, man. Who wants that, man? Yeah, 100%. Do you know what, Jammer? I'm going to ask you one thing that really means a lot to me. I started DJing from the early 2000s, playing your music, playing on vinyl. Now, when I look at the grime scene now, I love how it's thriving, how it's changed, how it's materialized. You've got the new generation of grime. But my question is to you. Obviously, you've lived and breathed it. You're you're one of the core foundations of where we are now in terms of grime. But do you see a difference from the early 2000s to where it is now in terms of how the grime music scene has evolved? Like, do you see a massive difference, or do you see a slight transition to where it is?
Because it's a total difference. It's a massive difference, man. Stormzy became a millionaire in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. And at the end of the day, bruv, like we built that. Doesn't matter what Stormzy says. We love Stormzy, but Stormzy wouldn't be able to make £1 million in a year if it wasn't for the work, not only of me, but for Wiley, Skep, all the doors that have been broken down by everyone, Jamie, Boy Better Know, Nasty Crew, all of these brothers that put mad blood, sweat, and tears in. Guys that ain't even here yet. Guys are dead. You get me? Esco, Slinger, all these guys that storming. Do you get what I'm saying? All these guys that put their life, soul, and blood, everything into this thing to not let there be a Stormzy, because he was always going to be him. It could have been someone else. It could have been Normzy. It could have been Jonesy. It could have been any name. You get me? It's not a direct thing to him. But what I'm saying is it made it a lot easier for the likes of Dave, for the likes of other rappers to come through and to make really big and quick successful careers. People like Michael Dapper would have never been such a phenomenon if.
But not only that, even the drill music scene, because that's a realm from grime. So how
it is, but I'm very careful how I integrate talking about drill and grime, because what I notice as somebody that's a little bit from a generation before, what younger people don't like is when the older people say, oh yeah, but that's because of us. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And I don't want to say that to you. With grime, I can literally say from my heart that I know that somebody like Stormzy wouldn't be able to go and get £10 million from Warner for an album deal if it wasn't for the work that man put in, because obviously it's a lead up to that. It's like those major labels and corporates couldn't buy into that movement when it was happening. They couldn't buy into Boy Better Know when it was selling at Wembley, when Drake was running that. There was no open checkbook. There was nothing for them to come into. So they had to look for someone who was willing to let them have a stake in that. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, you know, Stormzy was willing to do the corporate business, and along with obviously running his label with the Murky team, but also running it with a corporate like Warner. And he's just signed a big massive deal with Def Jam now. And I know the figures ain't released on that, but that's definitely got to be 50 to 100 mil. Do you know what I'm saying? That's crazy money. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but
what you've said in the past and what you felt strongly about is it's not always about the money, man. And how you said that you like to keep it independent and do your own thing.
No, 100%. It's not. But the thing is, you got to have clarity with it. It's not about the money. But if someone like Stormzy, a young black brother, can go and get 100 million, please get it, bruv. Take it. You get me? Get it and go to Africa, bruv, and start building some things and take some people.
Definitely.
You get me? I'm not saying don't take the money. This is not. I'm just saying I'm not going to be a slag, lie on my back, open my legs because somebody said money. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't take money. I'm not saying don't sign a record deal to anybody. If it makes sense for you, it makes sense for you, my brother. Like, it's all good. You get what I'm saying?
100.
But have some integrity to what you believe in. Some people don't have integrity. They don't care. They just want to make a song, write a beat, and get the money because they just care about the money and they want to be rich and they want to get everybody's girl. They want to have sex with everyone's girl. They want to post it. They want to just do so much things.
About the ethics and the morals behind it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not necessarily talking about, don't worry, man. Everyone, come on, let's just live on £2. Like, let's just make sick music. It doesn't matter. We just share a portion of chips. That's bollocks. That's not what I'm saying. Because that's the thing. People they'll listen to what you're saying and they'll be like, oh yeah, man, he just sounds like he's saying it because them man got 100 million yesterday. No. Everybody's had not everybody, but man, them that making music have seen guap. Do you get me? I'm not gonna start calling out who's got what. You get what I'm saying? But man ain't new to peas. Do you get me? But the thing is, it's like you gotta make sure you don't let peas rub you out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, you can sign a shit deal, you can make a stupid decision, you can just see a number and do something that's gonna affect you so badly over the next 2 to 3 years. You know what I mean? I know artists now that are in record deals that can't get out of them, that are fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? They're not happy, they're sad.
They're signing their life away.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I know Daps on the Map just got out of his deal and he's just trying to rebuild now. Do you know what I'm saying? He's an amazing artist. Spectacular artist, you know what I'm saying? Especially in grime, he's so unique. And he went through that. But obviously, remember JK and all that was doing. JK's still independent, but he's still he's still independent. And look how he's built his things. You know what I mean? So you just got to look at everybody and just kind of analyze where you stand in it and how you're gonna make it work for you.
No, definitely.
And what you're happy with. But yeah, that's like. I feel like I've covered so much. Yeah, I don't want to say too much. Go
honestly,
around and
you know what it is, because the main reason we're here is about natural selection. But what hearing your words of wisdom, bro. This is why I said all those people say that about you, is that you can go up to you randomly on a random one and just speak to him. You've got a lot to say because not only have you lived it, but you've got so much knowledge, wealth, and experience to talk about it because you can, and it's a breath of fresh air, man. So now big up yourself, man, for real.
No, man, love, and it's also good to just have a conversation. Recently, I think pandemic's done this, to just have good conversations with people. Because I used to have interviews with people and I used to be like, okay, so when did you meet Skepta? Okay, so when did you write this? When, just some dumb shit that people just asking me shit, and I'm just like, and I don't know word of a lie, this is the first I've ever started to do interviews again.
Oh really?
I didn't do interviews. I would only do like.
I don't even call it. I'm just having a chat with a brethren, bro. That's how I.
Yeah, 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 and that's what we were talking about earlier. Do you know what I'm saying? Because this whole weird thing they've made around celebrityism, or like this whole weird thing that's around it, it's just abnormal and it's not human. That's why we do. That's why I say fuck celebrities, because celebrities or whoever runs celebrities or the PRs of celebrities try and make people that ain't celebrities feel shit, and that is the most horrible rubbish thing. It's like I was talking to my brother the other day, like I'm somewhere and someone be like, oh my god, John, the blood sick, oh my god, your album, oh my god, like blood, Lord of the Mice, yeah, oh blood, you know what? Then they'll just turn around to like my sister or like a girl I'm seeing or somebody that's with me and be like, oh, you're not famous, you take the picture.
Mad.
You'd be like, huh? And I was saying this to Femi. I was talking to Femi because Femi said this in an interview the other day, and when he said it, I was like, oh my god, this happened to me so many times. I've actually wanted to headlock a boy one time for this, because he basically tried to say, give my friend the phone and say, take a picture like you, like my friend was like his worker or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't, how dare you? Furthermore, there's no picture.
Trust me, that's a mad disrespect already.
And me as well, I'll just be like, what's your name? Nice to meet you. Good to meet you, bro. Like, we can't take a picture, but it was really nice and pleasant to meet you, man. I hope you have a blessed day, and I keep it moving, because you know what it is? People are too, this whole normalized of like just putting other people who are a bit in the limelight above other people. I don't like it. I don't like it. So, and that makes me not want to be a celebrity. That makes me not want to go to an award show. That makes me not want to do bare things, because when I get to the award show, you try and tell my friend to walk on that side of the carpet and I walk there so that everyone could take a picture. Are you stupid? We just come in a car together. 8 of us just came in a car.
And all of a sudden you're going to be split up because of it.
Nah, forget it. I don't want to do the pictures. Let me go walk through that door. And I've done that many times, you get what I'm saying? Because I don't rate it. But then there's a side of it that I understand this is my job, I'm working, and they just want a picture of me for their magazine. But
yeah, I get that.
The way you do it is so important. Principle. Like, let me know before I get there so I can brief my brethren. Don't just stop them. Don't just like we get another car and you just put your arm across them and then you tell me to walk and they to stop. What? No. Well, I'm stopping as well now. 100%. We're all stopping. Fuck it. We're all just all right. Let's all just get back in the car.
Definitely, man.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's what you. I learned a lot of that, like on the road. You know what I mean? And there are some times where I'll be like, oh, I know I shouldn't go with my brethren because I need to go and do this thing, and then they're gonna want to. Do you know what I mean? But I just feel like people need to look more into an open situation. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. I was even watching WizKid's stream on Apple the other day, and his wife, and then his two, like one of his right hand mans and his security. When they came out of the thing to go to stage, there was a walk before the stage. So there's this walk, and then he started to walk, and then they said, "Oh, could we just have WizKid?" But it was live, so you couldn't cut it. Like you couldn't cut the sound or anything. And then they was like, "Oh, could only Wiz walk on this bit?" And then the 4 people behind him, they stopped, and then he was walking, and the camera was panning back as he was walking. You
see all them at the back.
Yeah, you can see them stop. They stopped, and then the camera's panning towards him, and then his wife runs up to him quickly, gives him a drink, because that's obviously they was walking together. She just made the drink. She didn't think they was going to say to stop. You get me? But she just ran up to him, gave him the drink, and then fell back. And then they've walked. Then he's gone around some other corner. But when they've bust the corner again, them lot have had to catch him up. So they're all now back in the same room. So you just stop them from walking. Then they said, "Oh, now you can walk to stage." That second walk that he walked, he was meant to walk on his own, because it was like all the graphics and everything. You needed to see it because it was a live, big production Apple Music show. But when I looked at it, people are so caught up in those, you're the star, they just forget to be normal. They forget to be human. Like, they forget to be human, and you just tell the man's wife to wait there while he walks down this one bit that she didn't even need to stop. Do you know what I mean? And it's funny because I know when I see Wiz, I'm going to tell him that. I'm going to say to him, I was watching that. I'm going to have a little chat to him about it and just like what I think of it. Do you get me?
Definitely.
But yeah, I just think it's mad interesting. Like that now, Skep was very heavy on it. Do you know what I mean? Certain times we'll go places when he was first blowing up, like where he was mad, like people was fainting when they saw man and that. Do you get me? And then we'll go to walk into some place, and then everyone will be like, yeah, we just like want Skepta to walk through here now, and then you lot can come in like 15 minutes, and the Skep will be like, no. We're all going in. We just came. We just
100.
came here. What are you
Yeah,
talking
man.
about? Like, what? And I think that's what I want the younger generation to know.
Definitely.
That all of these stuffs, it's not real, man. Like the Mobos don't get to decide if you're the guy.
Right.
We decide.
The people, then 100.
Yeah, we decide. We decide that.
Damn, before we go, the reason why I wanted to speak to you also is because of natural selection, bro. And I've listened to the whole album, and I have to applaud you because it's I feel that you have taken the time and effort to curate each track perfect, and some of the tracks really represent you in terms of the instrumental and the delivery. Now, releasing on 11th of December on the Jamaica the World label, 13 tracks, originality, hard graft, inspiration. But what is, I know you touched on it before, but bro, what is natural selection and why now? Like, what is it about it? I know you mentioned about the current struggles that we're dealing with, but
yeah, natural selection for me is just about like things change, things move forward, and if you don't adapt, you're finished. So my whole thing, what I think about myself, like I said, I've been doing music professionally for 20 years. I know artists that came out 2 years ago that are non-existent now. I know artists that come out this year that are non-existent now. They've lasted 1 year. Like, I know, so for me, I think it's a great achievement. And for me to have me calling my album Natural Selection is a massive statement because people know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the kid. I'm not the kid that you're going to look at and be like, oh, like, oh yeah, that's like, oh yeah, that shit was like, oh yeah, that was, remember when we used to like that? Like, no, it's not remember when we used to like that. Like, I'm on stuff today. I'm on crud now. Like, so that's why I really like, I really wanted to put that album together because of the sound of grime, how it's been like evolving as a sound, how I'm evolving as a person, how I speak. I used to rap a lot different or MC a lot different on my beats. How I sound on this album is a lot more mature.
Your delivery
my delivery is impeccable. My delivery is impeccable because I worked on it. You know, I remember seeing someone somewhere and they were like, oh yeah, like they started to talk to me about how my voice sounds now on records and stuff. And it was really made me happy because I've really spent so much time making sure my delivery, because I know, this is what I do know. I know that people are like, oh no, why did you say that? Like, you didn't used to sound. I just know that when I was doing certain things, I wasn't looking at them or thinking of them the way I'm thinking of them now. And in England, why a lot of artists do very well worldwide is because of the way they speak on a record and how much people can understand that in different languages, countries, backgrounds. Do you know what I'm saying? How much people can understand what you're saying when you rap your lyrics. How do people break it down? Do you know what I mean? And for me, when I used to be like, I rap, like when I do music, I do a lot of things that, like DW, he'll be like, but ooh, people don't know what the fuck he's saying, but they can catch the vibe. But sometimes, like, I'm saying something and I'm like, and I'm talking from a very, like, you have to know me as an artist to actually understand what I'm saying. You have to know my characterisms. You have to have grown with me for years to really. And I thought, you know what? That is great for in the grime scene. That's great for when I go to an Eskimo dance. That's great for when I'm But when I want to go, like, when I want to just go to PS MoMA and I want to be in New York and I want to do a rap on the corner in New York, how am I speaking to them?
Smart.
Do you know what I mean? And I wanted how I naturally speak in life I wanted how I speak in my everyday life to exist within a style of my music. And that's basically what I did with this album.
You could say that some people would say, well, like Jammer, like, are you really selling yourself out? But really, no, you're not. As you clearly said, you're adapting to your surroundings.
A lot of people have been upset about it. I'm not going to lie. Like, some people have been talking to me and they'll be like, why don't you spit your bar like this? Like, why are you changing your bar? Like, why you bit like high pitch and him like on whatever? But don't worry, you'll get that on the next project, what I do, which is for that reason. That might be for a rave or that might be for a set. Do you know what I'm saying? This album, what I've made, is for the world. It's for the world. And not only I've got like and the next two albums I make as well are going to be for the world. So it's just all about progressing. And also, like I said, I'm not doing music for everybody else. Music is a therapy to me. Music is, if I didn't do music, I don't know what would be happening.
You mentioned that. You mentioned that. Track number 12, Letter to My Son. That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
For when I heard that, like that kind of, even though it's you, that's a personal thing for you from listening to the lyrics, but that kind of hit home for me as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think because for young black males, especially black males, but also all males, we don't really speak about like our relationships with our kids, and we don't speak about issues that we have within parenting or single parenting or broken parents that are split ways. Do you know what I'm saying? I just don't think it's something that people talk. And if they do talk about it, it's like, oh fuck my baby mom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like some fucked up negative way. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to do a piece to let my son know that even though I'm not with his mum and we've had disagreements in life, that I don't hate her. Do you get what I'm saying? So he can live with that.
It's like closure for him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That when you listen to it, like it like I said, it was a deep thing for me, man. Like it hit me on a personal level, but obviously I can see
but that's my aim. That's what I'm saying. I aim to go into that for you. That was the aim of the record. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm really happy with this record, because you was just saying like, yo, that hit me. That's why I put it there. Do you know what I'm saying? And even when I made it, it was kind of like on the side, like it was kind of coming off the album, you know, with like, because it's very vulnerable. Do you know what I mean? I'm very open. I'm being very vulnerable. I'm putting my cards on the table. I'm really just putting myself out there in front of everyone, and like, and I remember my producer one day he was like, "Oh man, Letter to My Son needs to be like, it needs to be number 2 on the album or something."
I would have said the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. I would have loved it to have been higher, but obviously you had
yeah, they was getting on to me. They was like, "Oh, it should be number 1 on your album. It should be number 1.
Man.
It'll be so amazing if you opened your album like this. It'll be so touching and stuff." And then I was like, "No, you're not actually putting me off the tune. Like the way you're gassing it, you're putting me off the tune." And then at the last minute before I was gonna close the album, literally like I went in to listen to all the tracks, and then my producer one night was just like, "It's like, Jammer, man, you have to put that." Like, because he produced a lot of the records on the album. He's like, basically, if you don't put that song on the album, I'm taking back the beats.
Wow, that was there. Give me the
he was on that. He was on that. He wasn't letting it go. Like, so, and I just had a little discussion with him, and I realized that he was right. It needed to go on the album. I just put second from last rather than second from first. But yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you for
honestly, bro. Like natural selection, like it's at this point, this moment in time, when for the people then to listen to it, it comes out 11th of December. When you really need to deep each track, because a lot of hard graft and inspiration and wealth of knowledge has been put into each track, and it really speaks volumes and speaks for itself, man. So,
do you want to see a joke that as I'm talking to you? Look at this text on my phone.
Go on.
Where's the camera? This is jokes.
These tunes are putting out might be the best music you ever put out. This ain't the same as going to need to be. Bro, I'm telling you, the people that were telling you, when I listened to it, I was like, you know what? Being a grime DJ, knowing the grime that usually music you put out, this was like the variation from the standard grime. Even though majority of the tracks were 140 in that kind of similar tempo, the content was there, man. But just before we sign off, Jammer, I just want to say thank you. Like again, being from a grime DJ perspective, thank you for what you've done for us. Thank you for what you've done for us. But not only that, thank you for your wisdom, man. Because speaking to you today has been a breath of fresh air, man. From a personal perspective, mainly just speaking to you on a one-on-one level, just literally made me put things into perspective and made me realize that there's so much more to life than we think at the moment, especially from a mental perspective. And there's so many things that we've got, so many obstacles that can really influence you and affect you negatively from a mental perspective. But you lived and breathed it, and you're learning day by day of how to adapt and try and steer away from that. And not only that, guide them as well from avoiding.
100%. You never stop learning. You never got, every day you wake up, you're gonna learn. You're gonna meet someone. You're gonna find a better way to do something. You know what I'm saying? Or you're gonna find a worse way to do something. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a pleasure talking. We'll catch up again soon. Hopefully, when we're out of the pandemic, I could come in and do a set. We can do something live.
Let's do that, man. If anything, even though I want to do a set being a Grime DJ, I could just talk to you all day, bro. Because the ones there, you got a lot of knowledge and you got a lot of wisdom, brother. So, nah, man, big up to you, because a lot of the youth them need to be hearing these kind of real words, because it's an inspiration for a lot of us, man. So no,
yeah, because you know what it is, everyone's gassing them up, but you know what it is, we ain't got time to gas them up, so we're just gonna keep it 100 for them. You get me?
Definitely, my guy. All right, man. Listen, love and blessings to you. Good luck on the release of Natural Sex on the 11th of December. I know that I think you said today, I think Ain't the Same featuring Jamie was released today.
Video's dropping Friday. When's this out?
Huh?
When's this dropping?
This will be like next week.
All right, cool. So it'll drop before the album. So I'll just be like,
just before the album. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, perfect.
All right, so make sure that you download Natural Selection. Obviously, this hat that I'm wearing was from my last project called Black Russian. You get me? If you ain't heard that, go check that out. You get what I'm saying? Single, We Ain't the Same is out now. Video's out on Friday. Well, by the time you see this, it'll be out. Check it out. Enough love. Signing out. Jammer. Boy better know. Jam at the world. You done now. Bow.
Man's on lockdown, and nobody got shot down. I'm in the house with the food in the pot now. New time zone, man clocked out. I'm in the studio boothing, beats and barring, looping. Me and my niggas, we ain't losing, no L's. I bring the goons in, when I come through, I bring the troops in. Photo shoot, man, I'm shooting. Who's doing it? Me and my niggas doing it. Niggas pull up on the set and ruin it. Every day I'm on the block like booing it. Me and this you in it. Who's doing it? I do it like Nike did, do it like Swoosh. Do it like Despa, do it like J Kush. Every day, man, I grind and push. Whoosh. Link up Giano. Other guys want a bread man like Hardo, but I'm still with 5 girls in a car though. And it's a 5-seater. Guy wanna suck man like Ribena. Some guy move dry like Rivita. I'm at naughty, something like Peter. Yeah, I'm at naughty, something like Peter. She got a good aura, but she not Rita. Catch me in ASOS, chilling with Nina. What? Slap that. Choose so the thing's got a fat back. Man violate, I'll clap back. I slap heads and snapbacks. Any violation, snapbacks.